Come alive. D&D with A&G.
Welcome to D&D with A and G.
A very special episode 13.
It is. Tell us why, Jenna.
We have our first ever guest expert today.
Yay.
And that is, I think, Amy's oldest friend,
I think that's true.
maybe oldest continuous friend. I think we can give Tiffany.
I think that's accurate. Since two years old, I think, at Westside Preschool
Westside
in
Preschool, yeah.
Mableton, Georgia. Shout out.
Yeah.
And then I came along for the ride in middle school. So my dear friend Tiffany from middle school too.
Woo!
So
Welcome,
thank you, Tiffany, for joining.
Thank you.
Our first guest.
I'm so excited. I'm so honored. Thank you.
Well, we're honored to have you.
Tiffany's an expert in a lot of things. I feel like
Many
Tiffany, you're one of those people that latches on and gets really passionate about the things that you are into. Would you say that that's true?
That is a very kind way to put it, and I very much appreciate that. Yes, I would say that, yes.
And one of those things is Disney, right?
Yes, yes. Expert makes me, I see all the things I get passionate about. I really wish I could figure out a way to make money off of them. The new
same.
The pop culture Jeopardy that's on Amazon Prime right now.
I
need to be on that show. That's the useless knowledge that I am good at. So
we gotta get you on that show.
Yes, Disney is one of those things. I would say that. Expert, maybe not, but passionate. Yeah.
You've got to be top 5%. I'm giving you top 5% for sure.
And in fact, Tiffany, you were just telling us that you're gonna take a trip to Disney soon.
Yes, I am going in 2 weeks. Taking my two sons. I have a 10-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Cute.
And, I know. So I'm going with my mom and my aunt, and maybe Kyle, my husband. He might be able to come, but he might have trial. So
lawyer life. What are you gonna do?
He is a prosecutor, so he finds out what his weeks are going to be like on Mondays. So is it gonna go or is it dismissed?
Oh gosh, I remember those days.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going in a couple weeks for the princess race weekend. So my aunt and I are doing the 10K.
Yay!
So basically we just, try and finish it, and then there's Epcot food and drinking around the world afterwards. So
awesome.
Yeah.
What's not to love about that? So I have a follow-up question. Do you dress up like a particular princess when you run?
People do.
Okay.
I do not.
Okay.
Because I'm one of those, you know how they say you hit that runner's high? I don't know if either of you have ever hit that. I've never found that.
Same.
So when I am running, I have to be I have to be as comfortable as I possibly can be, because I'm miserable in all other aspects. So I will wear a themed shirt. I'll wear a t-shirt or a hat. But there are people that will run in straight up face paint costume tutus. It's so much fun. These are not serious races.
Those are the best kind.
Yeah, everybody's having a great time, and there's carrot tops along the way so you can get your picture taken. So yeah, no, you can dress up. I don't. I wear I've got a Tangled shirt, because
we are similar in that way, because every second I spend running, I'm miserable. In fact, I did the gobble jog. I did the quote, I'm using air quotes, listeners that are not watching, the gobble jog this past Thanksgiving, and literally, well, I had a little touch of food poisoning, but by by 3/4 of a mile, I was barfing in a bush. So
I think I saw pictures that your sister-in-law posted, and I was like, did they get Amy to run a turkey trot?
Wow. I think there was a very aggressive Thanksgiving dish to blame for that. I don't think we could blame the sport of running.
That's
for
true.
That.
Oh, no.
It was a Thanksgiving dish. We won't get into it here.
You'll have to listen to the Thanksgiving episode, listeners, if you want.
Yes, but I coined it meat salad. I think that says it all. I think that's all you need to know. And though that's a great, you're not the meat salad, but the Disney jog, the Disney 10K, the Disney Princess 10K is a great segue to our topic for this week because it is da 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 Disney princesses.
Yay.
Woo! Genna, do you want to tell everyone what we do on the podcast?
Yeah, I do. But Amy, I don't feel like you did our episode 13.
I didn't because all of them are going to be teen, and that's a lot of different things that have to rhyme with "een."
I think you've got to do the full word.
Okay, episode 13. I don't know. I'm coming up short.
Did it freeze? Did I lose connection?
Okay, hold on. I'm trying again. I'm opening up my creative
promise.
juices. Okay, episode 13, CNBC. I don't know.
Okay, there you go. We're gonna keep working
Sorry,
on it.
Mr. Chilnut. Sorry, Mr. Chilnut. To our one listener.
Oh my gosh. Blevin.
Sorry, Blevin. You deserve better.
And Luca, we're so glad you're here.
The listeners deserve better. Okay.
Here on D&D with A&G, quick recap for any of you that are joining for the first time.
Welcome.
We take the D&D alignment chart traditionally used in the game Dungeons and Dragons, and we apply it to any topic, a different topic every week. And this week's topic is Disney princesses. So this chart has going across the top, lawful, neutral, and chaotic, which is whether or not whatever we're looking at likes to follow the rules. And then going down the side, top to bottom, good, neutral, evil, which is sort of the intent of the action. And that creates 9 grids. And going into each episode, we have placed whatever that topic is. Each of us have filled out that grid, and then we discuss our picks and how we filled it out. So normally it's Amy and me discussing our picks. This time we brought on Tiffany as our guest picker, expert guest picker, because she has awesome knowledge, awesome deep depth of knowledge in Disney princesses. So Amy and I have actually split up one chart so that we don't keep you here for 3 hours talking through 3 full charts of picks. So we'll be doing it a little bit different, tag teaming one chart together. And giving and hearing all of Tiffany's great picks. So yeah, and then of course, if all of that sounded really confusing, or you need a visual aid, or you just want to learn more or catch past episodes, you can find us on Instagram at D&D Wang, which is shorthand for with A&G, not anything else. And pinned up at the top are some good visual references that help break down that chart so you can get a sense of how it works.
That's right. Thanks, Genna.
Yeah, no problem.
Before we get started, should we quickly say who our favorite Disney princesses are, just like personally?
I want to know, maybe we do this at the end, but I want to like, who would you be, but not like in the story, like after it ends, it wraps at the ending. If you had to be a Disney princess, which one are you taking?
Okay.
Wow.
That's a good prompt. I like that.
I have like a knee-jerk answer, but then because I am a classic overthinker, like throughout the episode,
think about it.
I'll be like, wait.
And maybe this conversation will shape your perspective.
Yes, and if you're a classic overthinker, this is the podcast for you.
But Tiff, normally before we dig into our picks, like we kind of talk a little bit about our philosophy and how we filled out the chart. And I'll just say, and so I would love to hear kind of how you approached yours. I know you said before we started here that you talked to some people, talked it out. I was really interested, going into this week, I always do a little bit of research, and I kind of start by making a list of just kind of the immediate things that come to mind. And so I did that initially and kind of gave all the usual suspects when it comes to Disney princesses. And then I was like, okay, who have I forgotten? And I kind of did some Googling, and I was like, oh, wow. There are, when we're talking official Disney princesses, actually there aren't that many. So this was like a much, if you're, and so the Disney haters might come for me. I have some very non-official picks on my chart. So, and I'll justify them to the best of my ability here, but there were only like 12 or 17. I forget the exact number.
Yeah. Yep. I tried. There were a couple that I realized I was like, well, but is she a princess?
Right.
And so then that was one of the, like I said, classic overthinker. I was like, do I weigh more on the whether or not she's a princess or more on she fits this box better?
Right.
And
Like
so
I was like, of course, Belle's a princess, but she's actually not. She's
Technically
just
not.
like an inventor's daughter or whatever.
she is. But see, I feel like I feel like if you marry royalty at the end, like she comes.
Does she? Okay, I couldn't
Yeah.
remember if she made Disney's list or not. And oddly, like Tinkerbell's on the list, but then like
Yeah, I
stepped
saw that.
down briefly. It was like was briefly a princess and then like gave up her position. I was like, this is so confusing. What happened?
I love like who is the arbiter of the list? Who
I
controls
know. I was
the list?
like,
Who's
did
making
she?
these decisions? Mickey? Is it you, Mickey Mouse?
What happened with Tinkerbell? I want to talk to her about it. Was she forced to step down? What happened? What happened?
I love
Well,
it.
apparently there's a whole bunch of like Tinkerbell movies. There's like a whole lore.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't watched any of them.
Mm.
Because they came out like after our time.
Mm.
The 3D animation that they have like now on Disney Channel. Because
Yeah.
I'm still now that I've got, children, I've been watching Disney Channel continuously for the last 10 years. Let's be serious. I never stopped watching the Disney Channel. But anyway, there's like a whole bunch of like Tinkerbell movies. There's like like
Love it.
side characters and different fairies, and they like but I'm not
Tinkerbell universe.
I can't speak to it.
A whole Tinkerbell universe. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
I'm Tinkerbell conspiracy theorist now. I feel like forced to step down, not allowed to talk about it, gag order situation. I want to know what's going on.
Were you silent or silenced?
Yes.
Tinkerbell.
I want the real ones to step up and tell us what happened to Tinkerbell.
Justice for Tinkerbell.
Justice, free Tinkerbell.
Free Tinkerbell. Get Luigi on it.
I love it. Like, so my other thing, we were talking about like philosophies of like of picking. I was like, well, can we really call any of these princesses evil? Like, it's one thing if you're doing villains, and when I'm trying to like think of things and put them in the chart, there are certain characters that I always just associate with the boxes to help me that. And I was like, so for me, like chaotic evil is always the Joker. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Great example.
This is more like the Joker. I was like, I don't know how to make this work. And so my approach was, instead of evil, I went with rebel.
Oh, okay.
Of sort of like
Love it.
defying her, like what her assumed role was supposed to be.
Okay. Love that.
The most from what was expected of her. That was about as evil as I could get.
I love it. I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
My evil is pretty much evil.
I'm gonna make you think they are.
Yeah, same. I'm gonna do my
I'm gonna
damn.
convince you.
I'm very open-minded. Like I said,
love that about you,
I
Tiff.
was telling Jenna, I was like, I kept changing my mind. I can be convinced. I can be presented with new information and change my mind.
Wow. What do you know? A rational, open-minded adult human being. We're few and far between these days.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, cool. Amy, did you have any philosophy to how you filled out your half of your grid? Just
Usual.
let it fly.
Let it fly, baby.
Okay, cool. Well, should we
Shall we?
jump in?
Yeah.
Amy, I think you're kicking us off this week with lawful good, your lawful good pick.
Yes. So I'm going to start us off with lawful good. So lawful good, as we usually say, this is somebody who follows the rules with an intent to do good. Sometimes we talk about this as kind of a little bit of a boring box. This week's pick for me, though, is not boring at all. Not even close. This week for lawful good, I have picked Tiana from. Do we have twinsies? Holy shit!
I wasn't sure if I was supposed to say it now or wait, but
That's perfect.
Can't check my face because what I have.
Twinsies. So I'll be quick and then I want to hear from you, Tiff. So my thing with her is she's by the book. You know what I mean? She's like working her way up. She wants to be a successful business owner. And typically, you know, we do this like, oh, rule follower, but the added context for Tiana is she is a Black woman in the 1920s in New Orleans. So she has to be better. She has to be smarter. She has to work harder than everybody else to be able to get, you know, get her bag essentially. And so she's following the rules, but I'm not, it's not boring. She's working the dang thing. She's, you know, doing her stuff. She is, you know, a serious entrepreneur and businesswoman. And so I love her. I love this position this week. I think she has a strict moral code. And I think in particular, her sort of like rule following and sort of like serious approach is brought into stark contrast when she's with that silly prince, because he is silly. He's entitled, kind of lazy. And she is like, no, not here. We have to work for what we get here. And so that's why I have Tiana.
Mm. Yep, that is actually almost exactly what I wrote.
Yes.
She works hard to a fault. In her eyes, as you said, she works hard. You save up your money, you get your restaurant, and it's BS when they try and change the rules in the ninth inning. Like, oh, actually, never mind. And she's like, the moral outrage, the righteous outrage, when they try and like pull the rug out from under her. Right. She sometimes it's to a fault, you know, they have you know, when they go on their journey after she turns into a frog and they, you know, show her that there is a little bit more to life than hard work. Because otherwise you can't, and you need to be able to enjoy your work with your loved ones.
Here.
So so yes, that's exactly what I had. And exactly.
Can I just say, I am very proud of myself that I got twinsies in the first box with our Disney expert, okay?
That's the fastest twinsies we've ever had.
Incredible.
Pretty amazing.
As you said, the pool is a little bit smaller for this topic.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're probably going to have a lot of twinsy moments, but you know what? It's fine.
Well, don't you worry, because I'm about to break this streak.
Oh, hot take incoming.
Because the next one is my pick for lawful neutral, and this is one of my ones that is not a traditional princess. Although I will say both of my non-traditional princesses are, I would describe them as former princesses because they've graduated to queens. So they're in queen category. So they were once princesses. So I think that that's valid. So this is, or I have to assume they were once princesses because they're now queens. We don't know their history. But I went with Sarabe. I don't know if that's how we say her name. Mufasa's wife, Mufasa's former wife from The Lion King. Because here's the deal. Like, okay, here's the deal with this woman. So he dies. His brother murders him and then just like inherits her as his partner. And she's just like, okay, I guess I'm with you now. Like, it's just like, guess that's what happens. This is the law. Like, you're the new king, and I'm for good, for better or worse, this is who I'm with, which is kind of just like lawful neutral. It's just like, I'm just doing what I've got to do as queen role, whether it's good or bad. Don't care whether it hurts someone or helps someone. If the king is good, it's a good thing. If the king is bad, it's a bad thing. I'm just doing the queen thing and not, it's like stage a revolt, lady. Get it. What are we doing here? Overthrow that man. He was scrawny. You were a good looking lady lion. Like, do an uprising. We don't need a little cub to come back from hanging out with a puma to figure this out. Like, these lady lions could have done some shit. Like, anyway, I think we could have solved this problem a lot sooner if Sarabe, is that how we say her name?
Yeah, I think so.
If she had not been lawful neutral.
You know, that's a great pick. And I love that pick. And I'm going to say one extra thing about it. You know, the story is modeled after Macbeth.
Oh, I thought it was Hamlet. Oh, is it
Hamlet.
Macbeth? Is it Macbeth?
It's Hamlet. Never mind. I thought it was Macbeth. And then I was going to be like Lady Macbeth. I think it's Hamlet.
It could be Macbeth.
I was
Macbeth.
one of them. Hamlet is, wait. Okay, hold on a second.
Timon and Pumbaa are
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
So it's Macbeth? Or is it Hamlet?
Hamlet.
It's Hamlet.
Damn it. Okay, never mind. Take back what I said.
I don't know.
Take back what I said. Well, don't worry. We'll cut that out. We'll cut that
Definitely
out.
Shakespeare.
Yeah, yeah. Cut that out, Steve.
Who was it that taught us that? Who?
Oh.
When did we read Rosencrantz and Guildenstern? Was that in
Was
Miss?
that Blackburn? Who was
Yeah, I
reading?
think so.
No.
No, or was it Miss Elwood?
I
That
thought it was Blackburn,
We had Hamlet in 6th grade,
Oh.
which was way too young.
which was weird. I remember like really liking Ophelia when I was 11, and then like, oh no, this is actually dark.
I like the film. When they let us watch the movie, that was good.
They did
Yeah.
with Helena Bonham Carter.
Oh, yeah. That was good.
That was good.
So yeah, so that is my lawful neutral pick. And I think
I
if
love
she'd
that
been like, yeah, like chaotic good, we would have had a different film and people would have been happier sooner.
Mm.
Ladies for chaotic good. That's my
Yes.
that's what
Yes.
I'm asking for.
That's our gang name.
Tiffany, what is your pick for lawful neutral?
All right, let me see. Hold on. I have to. I'm of the type that I have to like delete the ones we've already done, or else I will lose myself in my paragraphs, because that's what I do.
Love it.
Mine. So I was, for a split second, I thought we were gonna be twinsies again, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be one of those nights. I see.
Don't you worry.
She starts as a princess, but ends up as a queen.
Oh.
So mine is actually Elsa.
I considered her here actually. I have her written as Elsa Part 1 because she
Yes.
has a big character arc. But anyway, you go ahead.
That's exactly what I said. So Elsa is lawful neutral. She goes a little bit rebel. I will say she has somewhat what you think is going to be a villain origin story, but I call her lawful because she is very focused on her rules, whether good or bad. It doesn't really. She's isolated because, well, first let's not even get into her parents isolating her, but whatever. So she's isolated her whole life, so she has to create her own rules and what she considers to be like her own, like, this is what I have to do so that I don't hurt anybody. And so she does kind of break off. She very, methodically leaves everyone, even though, she's supposed to be queen. She's supposed to be taking care of this kingdom, but she's like, no, I gotta do what's best for me so that I don't hurt the kingdom or myself. So she goes and builds her own ice palace. She comes back to a more neutral role. So like I said, I think in part 1, she's a little bit, villain origin story, but then she comes back to neutral. And she remains neutral in Frozen 2, I would say. A lot of her story and story arcs are very much about like self-discovery and finding herself. So
yeah.
Also
love it.
rules in like, you can't marry a man you just met. You need to wear my gloves. Just the way it is.
Or even like her when she was isolating, and insisting on not using magic, like that was such a rigid line. And so she would not interact with her sister, even when her sister's heart was breaking. So that's like a very negative outcome. And she sees that negative outcome of that rule, but will not change the rule, like will not deflect from it, even though it's hurting someone. So I feel like that's a very much like a lawful neutral place. Like she's just like, that's not her intent to do it, but she won't steer away because that's what's happening. So to me, that felt like a very lawful neutral thing too.
How many Frozens are there?
2, but they're making a 3rd. 2027 or something like that.
Hey, whoever I feel like they must have psychologists on staff to create these things, because I just remember that it was like a everywhere you went, every place, it was everywhere. I didn't even see the movie until for much longer, and I felt like I knew every word to every song.
I just saw it for the first time in like the last 6 months. Finally, I feel like I'm finally caught up with culture.
You gotta see A League of Their Own first, Jenna. And then you'll be caught up.
Too late. It's too late. Oh, you mean to be caught up with culture?
Yes.
That's true. You're right. I won't make the claim too soon.
Yeah. Okay.
For
So
more
does
on
that
that, watch the sports episode. Go
or
ahead.
more on that? See, well, you can't yet. Sorry, my bad. I gotta upload that one.
Once this is out, it'll be out. It'll be fine.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's true. That's true.
There you
You're
go.
right. You're right. Okay, so moving on to lawful evil. Lawful evil is my pick on the chart this week. Lawful evil is avid listeners will know. I typically think about the motivation. Even though I'm saying that and well, no, I think that holds true. It's domination, and so this is like where a character uses apparatuses of power to dominate others. And I picked for this square Lady from Lady and the Tramp. Sure, she's a dog. Sure, I suppose that's technically isn't a princess, but I put her here because she is a classist snob that would not give Tramp the time of day because he did not have the right job. He did not have the right amount in his bank account. He did not have the right credentials, even though, let's be honest, hot.
The tramp.
Tramp can get it. Tramp can get it. Romantic. Think of it. He took her to a spaghetti and meatball dinner under moonlight and starlight. She did not deserve him. He needed to be out with a real queen who saw his worth despite, his trampiness. And I know that he like changed her in the end, but he shouldn't have had to do that. That's why my pick for lawful evil this week is Lady, classist snob / capitalism. Are we
I mean,
twins?
hot take. I've never liked spaniels.
They look classist. They look snobby.
Honestly.
So no, this one's not a twinsies, Tiff.
Not, but I still very much love that. And now I'm kind of like looking at mine like, oh, I kind of like where she went better than me.
Look what yours is.
Gosh.
Mine was so mine, I went back and forth. This was one of the ones where I was like, do I go with the princess or who I feel like fits it better?
Mm.
And so I ended up, even now I'm trying to change it. I'm like, do I really want anyway?
I love that. I love that. That was a perfect.
You can tell us both. You can talk to them
Yeah,
both.
tell us about.
So, okay, so initially, so if I'm going princess,
Mm-hmm.
Cinderella.
Okay, tell us about it.
She, because again, I didn't go so much evil. I went more versus like they rebelled against what was expected of them. So she was, forced to be. I mean, everybody knows the classic story of Cinderella. So she was forced to, work for her stepmother and stepsisters. And girlfriend just wanted one fun night. She wasn't going to get a prince.
Aw.
I love that.
Because she just wanted to wear a nice dress. Because we all one night want to wear a big poofy dress that switches like a bell. Just once.
Oh,
And
it was a good looking
it was a
dress
good
too.
movie. And people watch, right? Like
Mhm.
she wasn't asking to be saved. She wasn't asking to do it. She just wanted a night out.
Y'all, Zendaya dress on the runway that like
Oh.
lit up like that. I died. It was amazing.
Her style is impeccable. 10 out of 10, no notes.
Incredible.
So that was my first.
it.
I was like, well, she's a princess, so she becomes a princess. So I'll give her
Also,
that.
does anyone have concerns about how quickly these people fall in love? It's like they had one dance together.
I know.
Yes.
Like at least
Jenna,
in
when you know,
Frozen,
you
they
know.
like address that. They're like, you just met. And they like sing a song about how it's kind of crazy.
I
But, like
love
in Cinderella, they're like, this is love.
appreciate in Enchanted when they're like, no, like you met him that day. And
Yeah.
then dancing and singing in Central Park, and Patrick Dempsey is like, how does everyone know the words to this song? How does everyone know the choreography? And I'm just like, this, yes. Should have picked Belle for something. She's a Disney princess. Anyway, I love Enchanted. If you've never seen it, you should watch it.
It's good. It's cute.
So I was torn between that one and then the other one that I did that's not a princess but is a lawful rebel is Mulan.
Oh, I like how you did that. I like that.
So
Wait, I thought she is a princess.
no, she's just
My list had her as a princess, but anyway.
Oh,
no, because she marries a
a general.
I don't know why, but it did.
I mean,
But
it also
also it wasn't like an official Disney list. It was like toys.com or something.
toys.com.
It was not
Mickey, is that
Disney
you?
certified.
But yeah, just saying like lawful because she knows the rules. She tries to do what's expected of her first.
Mm.
Goes through the horrific matchmaker process. She's trying to like honor her ancestors. She's writing the rules down on her arm. Like she's trying so hard, but then when the rules that she's meant to follow mean that her dad has to go off to war even though he's injured, she's like, F this.
Mm-hmm.
And rebels against everything and rebels against gender norms. And she cuts her hair and she goes and she ends up freaking saving China.
Hell yeah, she does.
So I was like, I can't not have Mulan on my
Mm.
chart because
Love it.
Mulan. She's
Yeah. And the songs? Let's get down to
Y'all,
business.
that is one of my favorite songs to sing in
To the
karaoke to this day. Like the bridge breakdown. I'm never gonna catch my breath. Say goodbye to those who knew me. Boy was a fool in school clerk cutting gem. Like
this guy's got him
I'm
scared to
obsessed.
death. Hope he doesn't see right through me.
Boy, I wish that I knew how to swim.
Be a man. It's so good.
When we were at some point in our lives, Genna, I knew how much you love that song. And you know how like random things will just like embed themselves?
Yes.
Whenever I hear that song and I hear that bridge and I hear her say, I hope he doesn't see right through me, I see you in my head.
I love that.
I don't know if you sang it in our college apartment.
I don't either.
But
I thought it was a newfound thing, but maybe.
And I just like as you said that, I was like, oh my God, that's right. I associate that song with Jen.
That is amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still do it. Like grown 38-year-old me, still doing that in karaoke. Any chance I can get it.
That the music is good. Duh.
It is
It's very good.
Yeah.
We watched that and like the video in the back of your mom's Suburban like all the time.
Suburban.
My dad, literally to this day, will be like, I have never actually seen the movie Mulan, but I know every single word. I can sing every single song because that's the only thing you wanted to watch.
Because it was awesome.
It was awesome.
It's
And
a
what a great-
long drive to Kiowa Cliff.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, Cliff. What are we supposed to do?
It was either that or when we would like share earphones to listen to Alanis Morissette about all the horrific heartbreak that we had not suffered at the age.
Exactly. I mean, what were we like 12 years old? And we'd be like, you ought to know what I have. You know, so good. Talk about a good karaoke song.
Oh, that's good.
I can't hit those notes.
Well, neither can I. Don't stop me though.
The bros singing in Mulan are kind of at my range.
Amazing.
Okay, so neutral, that takes us up to neutral good. So neutral good is always one of our favorite spots on the grid. I love to call it the bury a body spot. Like this is your friend. Which princess would you call if you had to bury a body?
That's good.
And I would call Anna from Frozen. That's the princess I would call if I needed to bury a body. And I think that is our neutral good princess. She is willing to go break the rules if she needs to in the service of good. She kind of does when she sets out to go try and save or help Elsa. She's not like crazily breaking the rules, but she's like doing what it takes to try and help her sister. So yeah, I think she's a neutral good girly.
She's a good sister.
She's a good sister. And I think she would bury a body.
That was kind of my takeaway when I first watched the movies. I was like, this is a movie about sisters and like sisterly love.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Yeah.
It's nice because it is like, yeah, it's really focused on just like two female characters in their relationship as opposed to like focused on a romantic relationship, which is probably why it's so beloved. Like the same way like
Honestly.
Barbie was so beloved. It's like, yeah, we don't need to like be obsessed with women interacting with men all the time.
Bechdel test.
I was just about to say the Bechdel test. I've seen the second one.
I haven't.
It's so plot wise, it's a little.
Yeah.
It's not as good. The music is great. I'm one of the few I have found that I like Frozen 2 a lot more than the average person.
Oh, okay.
But there is a line like what you said. She's a good sister and would bury a body. And there's a scene where without going into the whole plot of the movie, but Elsa's trying to put out a fire with her magic, and she's like, everybody go, get out. She's trying to freeze this fire, and she's trying to get Anna out. And Anna chases her in, and at the end, and she's like, you can't do that. I have powers. You don't. You can't chase me into fire. And she goes, if you don't want me to chase you into fire, don't run into fire.
Oh, I love that. I'm tearing up.
It's really good. It's really good. So I like that.
I'll say that to both of you. If you don't want me running into fire, chasing you into fire, don't run into a fire.
Oh, I love that. Well, what, Tiff, what is your neutral good pick? And Anna is a legit princess, so that is a for real one. She's for real.
So my neutral good is this one is also like, this is like my favorite box. Maybe it's because this is sort of, I guess, where I put myself.
Yeah, I think you are very neutral good. It's one of my favorite spots on the grid.
Yeah.
Same.
And so I put my favorite princess there because it was like I was drawn to it. So I put in there. So she is, despite being, so she's kidnapped and she is raised by a very self-serving, narcissistic witch who only wants to use her for her power. But she grows up as a good person. But it's mainly just, she's just good for the sake of it. Like she just is. She's just good. And when, you know, she has a goal, she wants to see these floating lights. And she just doesn't want to hurt anybody. She just wants to have a good birthday, right? So she breaks rules. She does escape. But what I love is that she's torn about it. Like when she leaves, she still feels guilty. And she's like, I can't believe I did this. I can't believe I did this. And I love that a lot. She goes back and forth. But yeah, and she is willing to just be good. She heals people with her hair. She uses her powers for good. So that's where I put her. She's just, I'd call her to help everybody.
I love that. And so this is Tangled Princess. What is her? Eric turned on the lights for me. Now I'm no longer in the dark. What is her name again? You kind of went out a little bit, Tiff. I do remember her name.
It's Rapunzel.
Oh, duh. Ugh. It's Rapunzel. Of course it's Rapunzel. Tangled is the whole story. That's a good Disney movie.
I love it. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
I lost the debate to have a Tangled song in our wedding.
Amazing.
I kind of wanted the I See the Light song during the concert, and Kyle was like, I love you, but maybe something else. And I was like, okay.
That's amazing.
You have like a Tangled themed like anniversary
party. Yeah.
There you go. Lucky number 13 this year, so maybe.
Wait, how many years this year?
13.
Wow, congrats. That's amazing. Yeah. That was a fun wedding.
That was fun. I enjoyed it. I heard that shrimp was good. It was out by the time. That's like our wedding family joke. Anytime we go to a wedding, my mom's like, find the coconut shrimp because we didn't.
Love it. It was good coconut shrimp, if I recall correctly. I never forget a coconut shrimp. Okay, so I guess that's moving us down to true neutral. So true neutral sometimes to me is like the hardest one to place because it's like totally neutral. So, for me, I put this is where I put Cinderella. I felt like Cinderella was just keeping her head down, doing what she was told, just trying to survive in a bad situation. I don't feel like she had, and maybe this is unfair, but I feel like back in the day, and I think we've kind of alluded to this a couple times. Back in the day, the princesses didn't really have a lot of motivations. Things just sort of like happened to them. And so I felt like I couldn't see like Cinderella, like she wasn't trying to accomplish something, like, oh, this is my goal. It was like, I'm just trying to survive. I'm in this bad situation. Oh, I have a fairy godmother. I feel like she just like got a winning lottery ticket. You know what I mean? And here's this fairy godmother all of a sudden. She takes her to this fabulous ball. She gets to marry a prince. So I feel like she's just kind of trying to get by and got super lucky. And that's why I put her in true neutral.
I like it. She's just vibing, you know.
She's vibing. She's trying to vibe. She's trying.
Yeah,
I mean, she did have like both of her parents die in like really evil siblings that like basically forced her into like servitude. But like, yeah, she's lucky, I guess.
I mean, she just got lucky.
Super lucky.
It all balanced out in the end.
Super lucky gal. Her friends are like two mice.
Okay, I will say I do think that's lucky. I mean,
Gus is like one of the cutest sidekicks of all time. Oh my god, I can't.
He's so cute. And I love the scene when they're all like helping with the spools of thread and
Cinderella.
Night and Day and Cinderella. Yeah,
So
I do love Gus Gus. Yeah,
he's so cute.
Adorable.
Maybe my next dog name.
So cute.
Yeah, it was hard. You're right. Because I was just, well, I mean,
that's a good one though. I mean, yeah, I didn't have this one.
that is really good.
Because I had one I thought I might pick for it, but I won't say it in case someone else calls it somewhere else. So
see,
you gotta tell us later.
Because a lot of the movies, like the whole point is they're like, well, like you said, like the older Disney princesses, not so much. They were just kind of had their storylines thrust upon them, and then now Disney is kind of like,
oh, these chicks want to participate.
They want to participate, and so they have all these like goals and adventures.
They want speaking roles. They want screen time.
It's amazing. So like I was like, well, a lot of the ones now are really motivated, which is awesome, but none of them are really neutral. I ended up doing, again, she's not technically a princess, but she's the daughter of a chief, so it counts. So Moana.
Wait, who?
Moana.
Moana. Whoa.
So
hot take.
Yeah. Now, granted, she does have, she does her own thing, but she's also very just like, she knows what her role is. She's trying to roll with it. She really wants to be on the water. But she's dealing with it. Like she's just like, I think at one point her mom even says like sometimes what we want can't always happen to us. So she's like, okay, well, I have a job here. I'll do my job here. It's not until her grandmother tells her like, this is your job, like gives her the job that she, oh, okay, now I'm going to go somewhere and do something. So, and I love her. Don't get me wrong. Moana is one of my favorites. Music is awesome. But yeah, like I said, it was kind of hard. So I'm not really sure. I will say, out of all of them, this is probably my least confident pick. I was like, well,
it's a hard one.
It is. It's hard. I was like, I like you. I don't want to make you. You're not chaotic. You're not loved because you go off and do crazy things. So I'm just gonna put you in neutral.
I get it. I get that. I get that pick.
I
get it. Love it.
What's next?
Next up is Neutral Evil. And I am going to take us back with some classic princess action. Neutral Evil, is you're not really breaking the rules, but there is some kind of intent. What is our motivation with Neutral Evil, Amy? Can you remind me?
It is gain.
Gain. The intent is gain, and in a negative way. And I put Lady Snow White here.
Oh, and tell us.
I've got 2 words for you guys. Indentured servitude. She's got 7. First of all, these 7 gentlemen welcome this woman who needed help into their home. And then they end up doing all of the work for her for the remainder of their lives. They go to work and then also do the rest of the work. I haven't seen the film in a long time. This is just how I remember it in my head. I'm like, what is happening here? Like, is this okay? Are these people okay? Do they need help? Like, blink twice if you need help, grumpy. Like, I just don't know that the dwarves are all right. I don't also know if dwarves is okay to say anymore. So anyway, I'm worried about I'm worried about the little men in the film.
There you go.
I love this
I'm
pick.
very interested to see how they like a 2025 it in the live action that comes out this year.
Is there one coming out?
Yeah, yeah.
You're kidding.
No. And it's gonna have Rachel Zegler from the last Hunger Games movie as Snow White, and then Gal Gadot,
Oh.
Wonder
Wow.
Woman. She's gonna be the evil queen. So
Oh.
Oh,
Not Snow White.
you're like, I'm like, oh, evil queen. Yeah.
now we see it. Now we
That
get it.
tracks for me.
Right. So
Not her biggest fan. Anyway.
So yeah, I think people weren't being fairly compensated for their labor in the film. is what I'm saying.
Pay people.
Unpaid
Paid time
labor.
off, paid sick leave.
Even the work that you're doing at home is labor.
Hell yeah, it is. I love that pick.
My pick, neutral evil.
Love it.
all right, for mine, so I guess it's sort of game. Like I'm trying to think if I can make it fit into so for neutral, again, I was going with the rebel, like who, went against, she didn't want what was planned for her. And so I went with Jasmine.
Oh, sell us more.
Because she doesn't want to be forced to marry. And she flat out, like her dad's like, well, it's the law. And she looks at him and goes, the law is wrong. I don't want, and then he's like, well, you don't get married, then you're a princess. And she's like, this is what you have to do. And she goes, well, maybe I don't want to be a princess.
Mm.
And what I also really liked is like, so to me, I guess the game could be she up until like when she snaps at him that maybe she don't want to be a princess, like I think she likes her role. I think she values her people and wants the opportunity to serve them and be, but she wants to do it on her own terms. And so she wants to be queen, or whatever you would call the equivalent of queen in that culture. But at the same time, she's kind of, I don't know, she does it for gain. And I like I don't know if either of you have seen the live action movie.
I haven't.
There's a whole like, thing about like the live action movie. Some people love them, some people hate them. I don't, to me, none of them have really replaced the cartoons. You know what I mean? They added them, but none of them have been like, oh, this one's better. But I did like in the live action Aladdin, they flesh out Jasmine's role. And she's not saying that she doesn't want to get married, but her entire motivation, the entire movie is she's trying to convince her father that she has earned the right to be sultan on her own.
Ooh, that's dope.
I love that.
I don't need someone else to come in here from another country and then I marry him and then he gets to take over. This is my country, my people. I want to do it on my own. And so Aladdin is very much kind of like a side character in her story. Like, and then she's like, oh, and I happen to fall in love with this, and he actually is a good guy. Yay. I like that. So love or hate the live action movies. I did appreciate that they gave her more of a role. So
yeah, I like that too.
yeah.
Also, Aladdin could get it.
Good. Yeah.
The animated version.
That's because you like a tramp.
I fucking love a tramp.
Yes.
Your thing.
It is sort of. Oh my God. I what can I say?
How do we feel about Robin Hood though?
Hot. Ta.
I mean, Robin Hood's very in right now. It's like it's giving it's giving
Yes.
the rich. It's giving vigilante. It's giving
guillotine, baby.
of the moment.
Oh, yes, timely.
I love the reference. I love it.
Oh, this is amazing. Okay. So for chaotic good.
Yeah.
I have Merida. Is that how you say her name? Or is it Merida? Merida from Brave,
Mhm.
which
Oh.
is a really good one, a really good movie. It's one of the newer ones, and it's like basically this, I think, based on Scottish mythology. But it's kind of similar to I guess this is sort of an archetype in that there's a woman who doesn't want to get married off, essentially. Someone in like an important family who doesn't want to get married off. And so she goes to a witch to get a pastry to give to her mom because her mom is like, you got to get married. And
stop eating these witch pastries, ladies. What the fuck? We've been over this.
If you don't know where it came from,
damn it.
And I will say though, I don't do as I say, not as I do, because I will eat from whatever source. I don't need to know where it came from. But it turns her mom into a bear. And so you gotta watch this one, Jenna. It's good. But like it has good intentions, but she's chaos. You know what I mean? She like goes about things a little chaotically. And so sometimes her chaotic energy, her chaotic sort of like thinking and approaches to things have unintended outcomes. But she turned her mom into
what was supposed to happen?
I don't remember. Do you know, Tiffany?
Oh God, I can't remember. Like the way that she phrased it was, she goes
Like change her mom or something?
to, like change her fate.
That's so funny.
She, like,
Yeah, it turns her into a literal bear.
She finds this witch, and the witch is like, why are you unhappy, or what would you do? And she's just like, I want to change my fate. I don't want to get married. And
Oh,
she's
right.
like, okay. And she basically, I think she says, my mom is
Yeah.
like forcing me to do all these things, and I don't want to do it. I want to be in control of my own fate. And then
just non-specifically changing her
right. You gotta be more specific to these witches. You gotta tell them. You gotta put some guardrails up here, boundaries, expectations.
Don't let the witches go crazy with their imagination.
Don't let them decide.
There's that movie with Brendan Fraser where he like makes a deal with the devil, and it's Elizabeth.
Monkey Bone?
No, not Monkey Bone. Bedazzled, I think it's called.
I haven't seen that one.
Whenever he makes a wish, he does.
I think it's Monkey Paw. Also, but anyway.
No, there's one that's called Monkey Bone.
Okay. Bone.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all remember this, but I was a big Brendan Fraser fan back in high school.
I think I do remember that.
Continue to be. So yes, there is a movie called Monkey Bone. But in this movie, he's like working with the devil, and she's like, I'll give you 3 wishes. But he just he's trying to get this woman that he has a big crush on. And whenever he he's like, it's very kind of like Aladdin, like, oh, make me rich, make me super intellectual. But then she always like throws like a weird twist in there. Right. So like super intellectual, everybody loves him. And the woman that he loves comes to a party and he charms her off his feet or off her feet or whatever. But then the twist is when he tries to take her to bed, his boyfriend is in there because in this wish, it turns out he's gay. He comes back out and he's like, okay, I need to be very specific.
That's amazing.
In my wishes.
Well, and in fairness, that does sound monkey paw-ish.
Does it? Yeah.
Like make a wish and you have a little twist. But I know that it's the reason I'm like very confident that it's Monkey Bone is because me and Lance Marshall went on a date to the movies, and we were like, he was like, Amy, pick the movie. And I was like, oh, let's go see this movie, Monkey Bone. And it was so bad. I credit that with like us being like, we got to just be friends.
Oh my God. Well, sorry, I didn't know you were talking about a specific movie. I thought you were talking about the concept of a wish being whatever. And so that's what I was saying. I thought was called Monkey Paw. I didn't know. I've never heard of a movie called Monkey Bone.
Fair. In fairness, that is what a monkey paw is. So I get that.
There. That's funny.
I love how chaotic categories lead to chaotic conversations.
That movie sounds awesome. Wow.
Did I do
so
mine?
then did you tell us what you
now it's Tiffany's turn.
Yeah.
Okay, so mine again, I was going more with vibes.
Love that.
So for chaotic good, that's where I put Anna.
Mm.
So she is good. She wants to help her kingdom. She wants to help her sister. She will spaz the whole way through it, but she'll do it. Um, and she kind of finds her footing a little bit more in the second movie, but in the first movie, this was when, we kind of talked about it earlier, like this is when Disney has pivoted to toward like to make the princesses more relatable.
Mhm.
So they are quirky, they are not always put together. So Anna's, tripping all over the place and, talking to paintings. Not that I can blame her given her whole life or anything like that. But so she's very chaotic to me. Like,
Mhm.
sometimes we'll have good intentions and it doesn't quite work out the way that she means it to. And she drags Kristoff into, saving her sister, and then, you know, they end up, blowing up his sled. Um, so to me, she just, like I said, the vibes. She's very, but with all the good intentions. So that's where I put her.
That's a good one.
And also I did want to mention, because you guys said that you had never seen the second one. But this does not lend to the chaotic. I just want to always give her a shout out for this. She sings one of the best songs in the second movie. That and again, you said, like, I think you even said, do they have like psychologists?
Yeah.
She sings one of the best songs I've ever heard as it relates to like mental health.
Oh, wow.
Aw.
It's called The Next Right Thing. And it's she is I don't want to give away the movie, not that it's, spoilers for a Disney movie. She's in a situation where she thinks she's completely alone, and she's basically like, I can't think too far ahead. I just can do the next right thing. What's the one thing I can do now? Like, it's so good.
Oh my God.
Kristen Bell, who's the voice of Anna, said that like she cried the whole time she recorded it.
Oh
And
my God.
Will and I will listen to that a lot when we are like in our feels, and it's really,
Aw.
I do. If you don't want to watch the movie, I do recommend that song.
I
So
love that.
I do too, honestly. I mean, they
like,
like,
I have to make sure they know this song because it's so good.
yes.
Yeah. I
I
love
love,
that.
yeah, like actually tackling like real,
Mhm.
because I think that's one thing, right, that is sort of plaguing the early Disney movies, as we've kind of been alluding to, right? Is like, it's a fairy tale. Everything ends well and everything is perfect and nobody ever feels bad or sad again. And I love that they're trying to do a little more, well, no, not really necessarily, but that's okay. And we can get through it, team.
Mhm.
So I think that's really lovely.
The
Yeah.
Inside Out movies are also,
Oh
Oh
my
God, the Inside Out.
love.
That first one.
The first one,
So good.
when I took Will to go see, so he's my now 10-year-old. He turned 10 yesterday. But I took him, and Will and I are very similar. We are very just anxious people, I guess would be the best way to put it. And
Same.
when I went and saw this movie, and Riley, the main girl's growing up, and so her emotions are becoming more complex, and the character of anxiety shows up. And at
Mm-hmm.
one point in the movie, she has a panic attack.
Mm-hmm.
Shows just like how anxiety, and like how the way that they show this panic attack in this movie, both Will and I both were like, that's exactly how he feels. That's exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm very impressed with how they try and incorporate it now. And they're like, hey, sometimes stuff sucks, but it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And here are ways that you can cope and get.
Mm-hmm.
And so they've been really great conversation starters for my kids, which
Oh, that's great.
I much appreciate. So,
Yeah. That's awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, and
Just giving-
Eric is not. Oh, you go.
No, you're fine.
going on, but
Well, Eric is my husband. He typically doesn't, it's like Disney movies, yeah, whatever. But what he really loved the Inside Out, because I think it is really relatable. And even for adults. I mean, I found when the um imaginary friend
oh no, bingo.
falls into the gorge of forgetting or whatever, I was crying. Okay.
Oh my God. Todd thinks he is Bing Bong. That's the character he relates to the most in that film.
I fucking love that. Excuse my language. Oh, incredible. Love it.
Oh, that's hilarious. But it's to save Joy, so it'll be okay.
To the moon for me. Oh God.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Cry every time. Bing Bong, no. We won't forget you, Bing Bong.
oh my gosh.
It's a fun one.
That's
Okay.
awesome. That's a great pick.
Yeah. Thank you.
And it is like it's adjacent. So I mean, I think like, they're very close on the grid.
A lot of them, I feel like, especially as they go through their journeys, it's like
Yeah.
keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that also I think shows, I mean, it was interesting when I was thinking about Elsa, I could have put her in 3 different places just in the first Frozen film. I felt like over the course of that movie, her character really fit 3 different places. And that is not something you would say about a Disney character from the movies in the 40s and 50s.
No.
And because they weren't complex in that way. So I mean,
No.
it is a testament to those characters being more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so chaotic neutral. I had a few different picks in this place, but I will go with the one that I think is for real a princess. I'll try to get some real princesses on the grid. And so chaotic neutral, we think of this as someone that is ignoring or throwing the laws out the window, and they are paying less attention to whether or not that is hurting people or helping people. They don't really care if it's good or bad, but they're just sort of throwing, they're just doing what they're doing. And so I went with my girl Ariel, and love her very much, but she is abandoning her sea world because she wants to be human and is falling in love with human land, which first of all, you are mistaken, my lady.
Stay in the ocean, girl. Stay in the ocean.
You are so mistaken. But it's okay. Everything's greener, whatever. Grass is always greener on the other side. The crab sings a great song about it, and he's right. But listen to the really great crab. But anyway, we get it. We feel you. But the other thing is, her dad is very angry and has like problems, and he needs to see a therapist. But she's got all of these other sisters who have to deal with this repercussions of this very angry father every time she goes and does something wrong. Like, I don't know if you have siblings. I don't have an angry parent, but I can imagine what it's like if you have to deal with your angry parent lashing out because your other sibling did something wrong. And all of these other sweet little mermaids who are well behaved, who are doing the little performance and ending up in the shell where they're supposed to belong, and the dance for King Triton, and then the last shell opens and Ariel's not there and he is so angry, and they all have to deal with angry King Triton because of Ariel. She's not thinking about her sisters, and that's a little chaotic neutral.
Yeah, I love that pick. She's pretty selfish, that Ariel.
I mean, I love that she's like trying to do her own thing. I love that she's independent. I love that she's like, I want to be different. I love that she's like, I love the like quote about like wanting to stand on her own 2 feet, like whatever, like the metaphor of like what that represents for women, obviously. But yeah, it's still like the character itself is a little chaotic neutral. She's definitely abandoning all the laws. Like, she's literally like trying to get rid of fins and be a person. So that's like the most abandonment of laws. Like, she's like all the sea laws gone. And then it's kind of neutral because she's really only thinking about kind of herself. So for better or worse. To me, a very chaotic neutral character.
I mean, she's using a fork as a brush, for God's sake. She's breaking all the rules. And can I just say though, the older I get, the less I'm hot for Eric the Prince, and the more I'm hot for that King Triton, Zaddy.
Oh my God.
I mean, woohoo! He does have a little bit of a temper, but goodness.
Go to therapy and then we'll talk. But yeah.
The music in that film is also excellent. Everything Sebastian sings, excellent. 10 out of 10. We'll also perform it in karaoke. He is in my range, and I will do it.
So a couple years ago we went on a Disney cruise, and we went on like one of the brand new boats. So we were like the third group to sail on this boat. And the very next sailing, like we got off the boat, and then the people get they do the turnaround. It's like a big hotel. And they turn it around. The very next cruise, Jodie Benson, the voice of Ariel, was on the boat. And she
Aw.
performed for everyone on the boat and sang Little Mermaid songs. And I was like, so close. I was so close.
close.
I breathed the same oxygen for a moment.
Ever since I heard about that one cruise ship that was sailing around the ocean, like ghost style with nobody on it, and it was filled with rats, I just can't.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Look it up. Look it up.
What about the one that like was like COVID and they couldn't return because it was like,
shit.
but that's like nothing was wrong with them, really.
Mhm.
But they just like wouldn't let
Oh.
them come back. Do y'all remember that? That was
Yeah.
scary. Like they're just like, sorry,
Yeah,
we're
that
just
does
like
sound scary.
we don't know what's happening yet, so you can't return.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, you run out of food.
Yeah,
They had to like, helicopter in food.
it was crazy.
You got to turn to cannibalism.
I know. Get in a boat, you go stir crazy.
Cannibal cruise.
I know that people, like some people are cruise people, some people are not. And that's totally cool. Kyle and I are. Just because you can get on a boat and you can be as active or as lazy as you want.
Mhm.
It's
And,
great for kids. I mean, for yeah.
Like you can just you don't have to think.
Mm.
You don't have to think about anything except
Love
where your meal is coming from. It's really nice. But we have learned though that 5 nights, that is our limit. We went on a 5-night cruise after he took the bar, and we like that 5th night we were like, we're ready to get off the boat.
It's time.
It is time.
Can I just say, I think the AI image for this episode is Cannibal Cruise, but Disney princesses. We'll see if it lets me do it. It has told me many times that they're like, ooh, what you're asking for is against our guidelines.
Tiffany, what is your chaotic neutral pick?
My chaotic neutral. So this is actually where I put Merida.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Still chaotic energy. Again, as we've said, like a lot of them can kind of go in places. I put her as neutral because in my mind, she's not really doing it for good or for evil. She doesn't like what is expected of her. She just doesn't want to be a typical princess. She doesn't mind being a princess. She never expresses that she doesn't want, to do her role. So I didn't really classify her as a rebel. She just wants to do it the way she wants. And in doing so, it's chaotic because she ends up turning her mom into a bear.
She does indeed turn her mother into a bear.
Just
So funny to me.
she wants to be able to ride her horse and the bows and arrows and upend the patriarchy and turn her mom into a bear.
Dope. All of that's actually pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's cool.
Yeah. But I don't think she means to do that. It's the ripple effect.
Yes.
Like, honest, the ripples. She just wants to ride her horse, but in doing so, all these good things happen. Yay.
If I ride a horse, will I end the patriarchy? Because I will saddle up right now.
Yes. Let's do it.
What you do is that the ripples start small and then they grow.
There you go.
Good or for evil. We can just make them good.
I love it. For chaotic evil.
We all have a chaotic evil pick.
Oh, we all have a chaotic evil. Jenna, do you want to go first for
no,
chaotic
you
evil?
kick us off. Kick us off.
Okay, I had a pick, but I think I'm gonna do an audible.
Ooh.
I think I'm picking a new one right here, right now, live on the episode.
Wild.
And my audible pick in the moment is Sleeping Beauty.
That's what I was gonna say is true neutral. Like homegirl just sleeps the whole time.
Well, I'm picking her because I think she's faking it.
No, she didn't.
She is faking it. She's trying to get a royal husband. She is basically kind of catfishing. She the evil, chaotic, evil
roll tape. Roll tape. We have it on film. Someone roll tape. Roll tape.
The The motivation is destruction. And I think she's trying to destroy this man's life.
Marrying?
By just, yeah. That's right. I
The
said what I
worst thing that
said.
can happen to you is getting married to me.
She's like, joke's on you, buddy. I'm gonna sleep the whole time.
Been plotting with this evil queen since I was an infant.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Aurora.
You should watch the Maleficent movies. You would like
Oh,
them.
I haven't seen them.
If that is your approach to Sleeping Beauty, I highly recommend the only Maleficent movie.
Nice.
Good.
Genna, what is yours?
Well, I'm not accusing babies of plotting with evil queens.
Babies are always plotting,
Oh, they are. Mhm.
right?
However, I am once again accusing queens of shit. So I'm back to my queens who I assume were princesses at one time. So this is my little bit of a cheat code. And I am going with Chaotic Evil is a very classic Queen of Hearts. Homegirl is Chaotic Evil from Alice in Wonderland. She embodies it.
Yeah.
No one needs to understand. She is chaotic and she is evil. She is the Joker of
She is.
Disney characters.
Excellent pick. She's out here beheading people for no reason.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
It's cheating because she's not a princess, but she is chaotic evil.
But you know what? In the chaotic category, cheating is okay because cheating is chaos. You're not following the rules, you're cheating. It's like, So
she claimed she was a princess when I did this chart.
Yeah. I'd say if she's royalty in a Disney movie, it counts.
Agreed.
There's nothing that says she has to be the title character or
That's right.
the descriptive word of Frozen and Tangled as they do now.
Right.
Hair and cool.
Okay, Tiff.
Okay.
Final pick.
So mine is of the same vein, in that she is royal, but she is not one of the main princesses. And I just went straight up with the evil queen from Snow White.
Mm.
She's very Joker-esque.
Mm-hmm.
She's just really jealous that somebody else is bigger than she is. Which honestly, in a lot of the iterations, I don't think she has anything to be jealous of. Like, I'm looking at her like, you're really pretty.
Yeah.
You could just
cheekbones
and have your sassy mirror to talk to, like your sidekick over here, and you could live a happy life. But no, she will destroy everything, and kill everyone, including a 13-year-old girl. Just not as pretty.
Well, she was like the Martha Stewart of queens. Like she knew she was prettiest for the longest time. That's fairest of them all, and she liked that first place title. She's a first place kind of lady. So it's like, yeah, she knows she's good looking, and then this baby comes around who is now the mirror's like, oh, so like you're like second fairest, like fairiest. And then she's like, no, I'm not having that. I want to be baddest baddie in the land, and I'm not settling. So
yeah,
she knows she's pretty.
I mean, when your sidekick is a mirror, like, girl, come on.
It is like, it was not a good movie to give anything to women. Like, it is like competition. It is like, hey, the most important thing to you is looks.
Right.
Like, that is all we care about. And also, you need to be fighting each other to the death over them.
Mm-hmm. And then the good guy is trapping these little guys and not paying them.
And no, that's a different movie. But the
No White.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Sleeping Beauty.
No, mine was Sleeping Beauty.
Oh, White.
Okay, sorry, I'm talking about Sleeping Beauty.
It's okay. I thought Hamlet was Macbeth earlier, so.
Is the mirror and Snow White?
Yeah.
A magic mirror.
Oh, I thought the mirror was Sleeping Beauty.
Well, the Sleeping Beauty and the Snow White,
they're so similar.
Yeah.
In Sleeping Beauty, she's mad because she didn't get invited to the birthday party.
Oh my God!
I forgot. She is the pettiest. That is definitely the pettiest of them all.
Birthday? That's what we're destroying.
Okay, and for a second, for a moment, who wants to go to a baby's birthday party anyway?
Oh my.
Nobody.
Girl, sit down. This is ridiculous.
I've thrown them, and even I was like, can I just eat the cake?
Did British people write that movie? What is happening? Get out of
Or
here.
if it's a Grimm fairy tale, or I don't know.
Oh God.
Was invited to a birthday party, and she gets so pissed. She's like, "Fine, when you're 16, you're gonna die."
Like petty.
Fairies are like, "Well, she won't die. She'll just go to sleep."
Faking.
But also, like, kissing people who are knocked out and falling in love with people who you've never even had a
Oh, yeah.
conversation with to wrap
Okay.
up the problems with the films.
Well, because let's talk about this. This guy cannot be kissing someone that is unconscious. It's called consent, guys. Let's get it together, okay? Okay.
Well, see, and I almost put when I was like, going back and forth, I almost actually put Ariel as chaotic evil or chaotic rebel.
I like that.
Chaotic
I
rebel.
just was a lot less forgiving. I was like, you have burned it all down. You have left your dad. You've left your sisters. You've changed your body for this dude you haven't even had a conversation with.
Ooh,
Full
change
clap.
your
That's a good
body.
one.
That's a
Change
good way
your
to put it.
body.
Yeah.
Like, you changed everything.
Body mods for men that you have not
Oh,
even spoken
They
to.
gave your voice away. You were like,
Oh, right. Her
talk
voice.
to him. I should-
Right.
And in the actual fairy tale, she turns into sea foam at the end.
No.
Mhm. That was
It's
the
gnarly.
thing that my grandparents had at their house, and I didn't know. I grew up. Well, obviously, we were watching Ariel. We were watching Happy Fun Crabs, and my grandparents had like this cartoon. It was like an anime cartoon of the Little Mermaid, and at the end, he picks like you know how in the Disney movie it's the sea witch that turns into the other woman to trick him. In the real story, it's just an actual other woman.
Yep. He goes with another woman.
And her deal with the sea witch is if he doesn't fall in love with you, then you turn into sea foam. And he picks someone else. So she just dies.
Devastating.
Which, honestly, like, the lesson there is like, don't give up your voice to try to win
That's
over a
right.
man. That's ridiculous.
Which is actually a pretty good, moral. I mean, brutal, but it's a good moral.
And the sea foam is pretty harsh though. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
And I mean, she did, like, I don't know if this happens in the story, but she did like interfere. She was very close to getting a kiss at one point, and the eels just knocked over the boat. So that was kind of.
I love those eels.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. We do not love the eels. No, ma'am.
Help it. I love Ursula and the eels.
No.
Because I'm seeing the sidekick episode develop.
I know the sidekick episode will be.
Yeah, that's a good one. That next time we have you, we'll do sidekicks.
Any
How
final
fun was
thoughts? Oh wait,
this?
we need. Okay, so we asked at the beginning.
Oh, right.
If you have to take over a Disney princess's life, not the storyline you see, but the continuation, which one are you going with?
Okay, for me, originally what I was gonna say when it was like, who's your favorite and who do you like the most and who would you want to be? My answer is easy. Belle. I loved her the most. She had brown hair and brown eyes, and she read books. I was like, this is my gal. She's the first one I've seen that actually likes to read. She's the first one I've seen that has like brown hair like me and brown eyes. But let's be real. The Beast looked better as a beast. When they turned him into a man, I'm like, give me back my Beast. I don't want to be with that man. I liked him better when he was an animal. So I cannot give that answer.
And also, if you really think about it, this is like the 1780s in France, and now she's royalty. What's going to happen in the 1790s in France?
Guillotine. Exactly. Another great point. So I think I would go with Moana, because not only is Moana, she struggled with her identity and wanted to be a good daughter. I actually feel kind of a kinship with Moana because she wants to be a good daughter. She wants to do what her family expects of her, but she really feels pulled to something else. But at the end of the first movie, they kind of embrace her adventurous spirit, and she had saved the world. And so I think I'm going with Moana.
I like that.
Thank you.
Tiff, what about you?
I didn't think about it as much as I was supposed to, and now I'm my knee jerk, as I said at the very beginning, was Rapunzel because she is my favorite. Because I really like Flynn Rider.
Mm.
He's the result of the Disney Hot Man meeting. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that.
No.
When they were developing the movie and the character, basically the animating team brought a focus group of all women into a room. Like I guess they were like, I don't know if they were other animators or just they worked in the building. And he brought them all into a room and he said, "Ideal guy, go." And he just had like a whiteboard and they like
Oh my God, that's amazing.
amalgamated like the dream and
Incredible.
they did really well. It's just and I really, really liked at the
Crushed
time.
it.
It came out 15 years ago, I think. And I really
Mm.
liked Zachary Levi at the time. But then he
Mm.
just talking and that kind of bums me out now.
Mm.
If I put him in the box of Tangled. But and they do have a TV show, which is also really good, where her story kind of fleshes out and you get to see beyond. And she does get to become the queen, and she is an excellent leader. So I
That.
still I still stand by my choice. I you
Love
know
that.
I could probably talk myself into a lot of other people, but
Mm.
I'm gonna go with my gut.
And she has fabulous hair just like you.
Thank you.
No.
I love her.
So
That's
true.
the shirt that I'm wearing at the race in 2 weeks. I wore it.
Nice.
Yeah, I wore that's who I always end up doing. I did her when I did the half 5 years ago. And then last year when I did my first 10K back after just, everything. That one I did Mulan because I did the quote, oh my gosh, it just left me.
Chugga, 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 chugga,
It
chugga.
just I thought has left the station.
Choo, choo. It happens to me all the time.
Back, but now I'm going back to my roots and I'm going back to Rapunzel.
Love it. Excellent choice. All right, Genna, that leaves you.
I think after this conversation, I have to go with Tinkerbell. I'm getting her back on the princess list. I don't know what happened. I'm getting to the bottom of it. I'm gonna Aaron Brockovich this shit, and I'm getting
Love
her
it.
back on the list.
Justice for Tinkerbell.
Justice for Tinkerbell.
Numbers.
Hashtag.
Mhm.
And also, I think the name of the episode.
What was my thought at the time when we were talking about it? I was like, oh, this is what it's gonna be called, and I like it. And I like it.
I love it. This was so much fun. Tiff, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us, Tiff, and bringing
And
all of
gracing
your
us with your
knowledge.
expertise. Yeah.
No, this is great. I
I love you both.
Disney all the time.
Yes. Love you both.
Love y'all.